everyone, welcome to the platform of Unacademy. I'm your biology mentor Neha Navraj, and today we are going to start the first lecture of your ninth standard, that is the fundamental unit of life. Okay, so in today's lecture, we are going to cover few topics, that is the introduction of cell, discoveries related to the cell, microscope, that is its structure and the functions, cell theory, cell number, and cell shape size. Okay, so without wasting time, let's start the class. So the first thing is, what is a cell? The first question that should strike your mind when you just hear about the word is, what actually a cell is. Why do we need to study a cell? So students, the cell is the structural and functional unit of life. When you talk about a non-living object, it is related to chemistry. We say that matter is made up of atoms. Okay. Similarly, when you just study about the living organism or living world, the living organisms are made up of the cell. Okay. So it is the basic structural and functional unit of life, and all the living organisms, irrespective of their shape, structure, size, their habitat, everyone is made up of cells. Okay, now this cell has the capability of performing all the vital roles of your life. Whether it's the functions of your body like the nutrition, respiration, growth, reproduction, excretion, or whether it's the functions like production of ATP, formation of proteins, formation of digestive enzymes, everything is performed by the cell. Okay, so the complete study of cell and its related topics like with the discovery, shape, structures, working, anatomy, everything is together concluded in a subject known as cell biology, or cell biology can also be called as cytobiology. Okay, now the next thing is the structural organization in living organisms. So we all know that we are made up of cells. But how is that process going on that from a very small cell, a complete whole big organism is made? So students, first thing is we have a cell. Okay. And this cell is capable of performing all the life functions. Now, this cell undergoes division and differentiation. Division means it breaks down into two or more than two parts. Okay. And differentiation means each part gets a specific function. So now the cell divides and it forms a group of cells with a particular or specific function, and this type of cells are known as tissues. Okay, like you have lots of tissues in your body like connective tissues, muscular tissues, epithelial tissues. Each tissues has a particular part. If I talk about the nervous tissues, their function is to carry the impulse to the brain, process the message, and execute out the response. If you talk about the epithelial cell, their function is to perform the protection function. Okay. Now, many tissues combines and they form an organ. Organ means the various organs in your body. If you consider a human beings, you have liver, stomach, heart, kidneys, lungs, etc. And every organ has their particular function. Now, many organs combines together and it forms the organ system. Organ system matlab, it means you have lots of systems working inside your body like the circulatory system, respiratory system, excretory system. So if I just take the example of an excretory system, the organs involved are a pair of kidneys, your ureter, urethra, okay, urinary bladder, okay, etc. So these are the organs which are involved in the excretory system. Now, many organs are combining together to form the most complex thing, that is an organism. So, organism is a mixture of all the organ systems where all the organ systems are working in coordination with each other for the efficient survival of the organism. So, this is what an organism is made from, that very small cell. Okay, now there are few discoveries that you need to know and it is mentioned in your NCERT. So the first is the discovery of the cell. So the first person or the very first person who discovered the cell and termed the word for the first time in history was Robert Hooke. Okay, and he used his microscope to discover a cell that was dead. Okay, and that dead cell was a cork cell. Okay, he discovered a cell, but that cell was a dead cell. Now, after the discovery of this cell came the next scientist who gave his input and said or discovered the first living cell in the year 1674. Okay, and he was the Antony van Leeuwenhoek. The one living cell that he discovered was a bacterial cell. Okay, and this bacterial cell was nothing but the mycoplasma. You must have heard that mycoplasma is the smallest cell. So he was the one who discovered them the first. Now, some more discoveries, that is the one who discovered the nucleus. Okay, the one which is the controlling unit of all the cell function. So nucleus was discovered in the year 1831 by the scientist named Robert Brown. Okay, and then came Purkinje, who discovered or he coined the term protoplasm in the year 1839. So what is protoplasm? So protoplasm is nothing but the combination of nucleus plus cytoplasm. I hope you got it. Okay. Now, after these all discoveries came the input of more three scientists who worked and discovered or formulated the cell theory. Okay, but before the cell theory, we need to know the equipment which was used to visualize or discover the cell. So it was a microscope. Why? Because cell is very small. You cannot see them through your naked eye. You need a special equipment for that. And that was a microscope, which was first invented around 1590 by two persons, that is a father and son composition, that is Zacharias Janssen and Hans Janssen. Okay, so both father and son discovered or invented the first microscope. There are lots of microscope like simple microscope, compound microscope, electron microscope. So the best and the most efficient type of microscope is your electron microscope that you might see in your labs as well. Okay, while working, if you have ever visited a bio lab or any lab, you can see the microscope placed over there are nothing but an electron microscope because the magnifying efficiency is very high as compared to the other two microscopes. Okay, now we will see the parts of the microscope in details. So first thing is this eyepiece. Okay, so this eyepiece is nothing but a part through which you visualize the slide kept beneath. Okay, and it magnifies the images. Next is the body tube. It's the handle through which you can visualize the slide. Next is the revolving nose pin. This is how you can set the eyepiece according to your needs. Next is your objective lens. So this one. So this objective lens are of various magnifying power like 10x, 100x, 1000x. So depending upon your specimen or the type of slides you are choosing, you can just adjust them according to your needs so that you get a better clarity of the object. Okay. Next is the stage. This is just to move the microscope's eyepiece up and down according to your needs. Now you have stage clips. These are used to hold the slides in position so that even if there is slight movement in the microscope, the slide doesn't move and your parameters like the things that you have set for clear visualization does not get disturbed. Okay. Now, there is a diaphragm which is used for controlling light amount. That means you can control the input of light. Like if there is lots of light, you cannot see the things very clearly because it becomes too bright. And if the light is too dull, you cannot see them very clear. So you can just adjust that light with this diaphragm. And then you have a mirror just placed beneath the base where the light falls and gets refracted so that you can easily visualize the slide which is kept here. Okay, so this was all about the microscope. Now coming to the next is the cell theory. So there were three renowned scientists who worked and gave us the cell theory. One was Matthias Claden, Theodor Schiavon, and Rudolf Virchow. So Matthias Claden in the year 1838, he was a German botanist. Okay, the one who studies about plant morphology and physiology. Okay. Next was Theodor Schiavon, and he was a German zoologist, the one who studies about animals, their anatomy, morphology, and physiology. Okay, and then was the third one who was Rudolf Virchow, who was nobody related to the biology field, but he was a physicist. Okay. He was a physicist. So all of them together gave the cell theory. So now let's see what the cell theory actually tells us about. So the first thing was all living organisms are made up of one or more cell, and this was the first thing that was given by Matthias Claden. Okay, he said that every living thing is made up of cells. As I said, in the structural organization, cell is the one through which the whole organism is made. So here what we were meant about. Next was given by Theodor Schiavon that the cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. It means that all the functions are performed by the cell, and the structure of the organism is also given up by the cell only. And the third was all cell arise from pre-existing cell. So this was given by Rudolf Virchow, and he meant that the old cell divides, give rise to the new cells. Okay, so this was all about the cell theory. Now, the next is the cell number, shape and size. So, first one is your cell number. So, based on the number, the cell or the organism is divided into two criteria. First one is the unicellular and the second one is the multicellular. So, what are actually unicellular? Uni means itself says one. So, these are the organisms which are made up of only one cell, and all the functions of the body is performed by that cell only. Okay, for example, bacteria, amoeba, paramecium, yeast. So all these are unicellular organisms and their body functions are performed by that single cell only. On the other hand, you have multicellular. That means the organism contains cells greater than one, that is 2, 4 million, billion, trillions. Okay, so these are made up of more than one cell, and the efficiency of such organism is higher as compared to the unicellular because there are more number of cells. So there will be more resources, right? Like if I talk about the heart cell, that is the cardiac cells. Okay, so their function is in the circulatory system. But if I talk about the liver cells, that is hepatocytes, they are concerned with the functions of the liver. So every cell is having a particular function and there is less pressure on a particular cell. So that's why they are more efficient and they are present in more complex organisms like human beings, animals, birds, etc. Okay, now the next one is the cell shape. So depending upon the function, the cell shape varies. Like if you talk about the ovum, which is the female gamete of the human beings, it is round in structure, whereas the male looks somewhat like this. Okay, then you have a cheek cell which appears to be like irregular. You have bone cells which are known as osteocytes. Okay, so they look somewhat like this. Then you have cell from intestinal lining. So they are columnar having some cilia, that is finger like projection on their body. Okay, for their particular function. White blood cells, which are your immune system cells. Okay, and they are like irregular amoeboid, like their shape is not particular. Whereas when you talk about the red blood cells, they carry oxygen or they are the oxygen transporter, and they are generally biconcave so that their surface area increases and their efficiency to carry oxygen also increases. Okay, now the nerve cell, it is the longest cell and it is looks like somewhat like this because it has to carry the impulse from the receptor cells to the brain and then back to the effector cells. So its length is slightly more. Now coming to the smooth cells, they are spindle like shape. Okay, depending upon their function. And then you have connective tissue cells like the blood, lymph, etc. Okay, now The next is the cell size. So when you talk about the cell size, the largest cell is found in the egg cell of ostrich. Okay, whereas the smallest cell is the mycoplasma, which is a kind of a bacterial cell, the one which was discovered by Antony van Leeuwenhoek, and the longest cell was the nerve cell. Now, this is in the entire biotic ecosystem. When you talk about specifically the human beings, the smallest cell is the sperm, which is the male gamete, whereas the largest cell is the ovum, which is the female gamete. Okay, so I think this is clear to everyone. Now,